All right, what's going on there, folks? Good evening. It is the Earthmaster back here on this Monday night, end of the Labor Day weekend, so to speak. It is about 10:30 p.m. here, California time. September 4th, 2023. Latest activity looks like some movement here along the Big Island of Hawaii with a 1.7. That's where we're starting out here tonight. We have seen a little increasing in earthquake activity out here across the Kilauea volcano in the last couple hours. Now, most of the activity stirring up here has been down there about almost about 2 to 3 kilometers below the surface. We did see earlier this evening a 3.0 earthquake in that swarm of activity that appears to be picking up here across the Kilauea volcano. That could be indicative of magma movement down here stirring up across the area. So we'll continue to watch that. The latest information there from the hazard notification system with regards to the HVO, which is the Kilauea daily update here, shows that it is not erupting, at least in their informational statement. I do want to check out here just real quick. We'll swing over here to the Kilauea volcano website, and we'll check out their tilt meters. And the tilt meters basically gives us a good indicator of what's going on below the surface as far as magma movement. Obviously, there's going to be earthquake activity with magma movement, right? But this station right here should give us a good indicator of what's going on. The last 2 days here shows inflation, and that's obvious here on this chart. That's been the ongoing thing here for a little while. This is the last almost the last month or so. Notice the uptrend here. Sometimes we'll have this lower deflation event followed up by inflation. So periods of inflation and deflation. Right now we are headed up towards the inflation state, and that means the influx of magma below, indicated right there with the increasing earthquake activity closer to the Kilauea crater area. The latest one right there up on the map that shows a 2.0. Again, somewhat below the surface area, but it's working its way up towards the surface. I think we could see this thing pop off here pretty soon. So we'll continue to watch the Kilauea volcano for some movement, or at least for some eruptive activity here soon. All right, looking at the bigger picture across the map here, what do we got? The latest, largest activity. It looks like a 5.7 earthquake. Pretty shallow earthquake down here south of Fiji, just off of the plate boundary. Now, this is kind of an odd one because it is just off of this plate boundary, and that tells me one of two things here. That there's definitely incredible stress up here against the surface areas of this plate boundary that obviously follows this little horseshoe pattern here across the Tonga area and up around the Vanuatu region. I think I'm kind of leaning towards that first statement here, that there's definitely some strain up here against this area. We have seen some somewhat deeper movement here over the last couple days. Let me bring up the last week or so in this area. The majority of these earthquakes here across Fiji and Tonga, shallow. We have seen some shallower earthquake activity upstream here across the Tonga and the Tonga Ridge, but most of the activity has been deep, and that does put quite a bit of strain up here against this trench area. Now, when we see these earthquakes pop off here away from that trench area, that's obviously a strain that's building up here across this subduction zone area, and this area can see some big earthquakes. Not even joking. Across the Port Vila area, Vanuatu region, we're talking about much bigger than a 5.7. So watch this area pretty closely with this intraplate earthquake taking place earlier this evening. Down here across the Kermadec Trench, 4.9. 319 kilometers deep. It almost looks like we're working our way down here towards New Zealand. Speaking of New Zealand, what's going on down there? Let's bring up the GeoNet servers. 3.0 Christchurch yesterday. That's at least the week and above. We know that there's obviously some smaller earthquake activity taking place here. Looks like that movement there is going to be along the Kermadec Trench northward, I believe. I did show up pretty nicely here. Let me see what we got going on here across the GeoNet server for all magnitudes. And the last, that's probably that 4.7 I'm guessing within the last hour. But that's well north here into the Kermadec Trench. 2.9 here about 2 hours ago here, North Island area. But yeah, a little bit, looks like a little bit of activity stirring up here across the region. And by the way, before I get too far into the earthquake update, I'll be giving away, or I'll be giving out details at the end of this video on our 100,000 subscriber giveaway. So stick around towards the end of this video, and I'll give you guys a heads up. All right, so moving on here. Pretty good cluster of earthquake activity across the Indonesia region. This is very typical, though. This is your, you know, it's like a washing machine of earthquake activity. There's plates being pulled, they're being subducted, they're being pushed, and you can see it on this map here. You can see all these plates and the land and the oceanic crust just being warped. Warped is a good word for this plate tectonic area here. Everything being pretty much pulled and shifted off towards this area. A lot of deeper movement back here, and that does, you know, obviously this is playing a part in Papua New Guinea area, Indonesia region, where everything's just being warped and twisted around. The land is being, you know, just twisted is the best word I can think of. And that's where that earthquake activity mainly takes place on any given day. We always see that kicking up here across the Indonesia area. All right, further up around Taiwan, we did see a 4.4 earthquake here in the last couple hours, it looks like, about 10 kilometers deep. Just off the south side here of Taiwan. I think GeoNet, or the EMSC model was showing that as well. Over here around Japan, a couple earthquakes earlier this morning, and well, actually this afternoon and evening. So things appear to be picking up here across this area of Japan. As noted there on the map, there's that shallow earthquake here, 5.7 intraplate earthquake just off this boundary. That's an odd one. That's definitely a that's an odd one. I think we may see something kick up larger scale here. This is our quiet zone. If you remember, this has been our somewhat quiet zone for earthquake activity. Roughly Fiji area westward along that plate boundary around Vanuatu area and Solomon Islands over the past few days, I would say. So this just gives me a good idea that strain is building up there in this area of the plate boundary. Watch that region for some larger scale movement here soon. Alaska, north of Anchorage here across the Castle Mountain Fault here. Looks like most of the activity, generally microquake activity, but a slight increase across the region today. But this does sit along a major plate boundary, so that is, and of course a major subduction zone. So earthquake activity at any given time is very common across that area. Let's check out the tremor map here tonight. Stand by here for a second while we pull up the tremor event. 200. Wow, is that right? 223 epicenters here. All of those confined underneath Northern California. Is that right? Is there 223 there? Goodness, that's let me double check. We got any tremor going on in Texas? Probably not. That's not a subduction zone. So all of this going on here in Northern California right now. That's somewhat of a shocking tremor count for Northern California, confined to this area. We haven't really seen any earthquake activity upstream, but when we see this tremor event, obviously that means that there's strain building, right? We're getting slippage, and that's a key word, slippage, down below in the subduction zone of the southern end of the Cascadia. What happens when you get that slippage down below these two plates? You got the Juan de Fuca plate over here to the west and the North American plate here to the east. This area is being subducted here to the east underneath this plate. That obviously is adding strain up to the subduction zone levels. So watch for some further earthquake activity up here across California, Northern California, in this area. Further downstream, well, looks like a general, something that you see in Alaska, right? There's just generally earthquake activity across this plate boundary, which is the San Andreas Fault. We did see a three-pointer down across the Bakersfield area earlier, but really no uptick since then. Looks generally quiet for the most part across the Southern California area. Yellowstone National Park. There we go. Let's spit this out right. Trying to be funny for a second. I know it's not always funny. Maple Creek area showing a handful of smaller earthquakes here in the last 24 hours, but generally quiet. Now, this activity here is just abnormal. That did show up. It looks like mainly across these two stations here, Joseph's Coat and the Pelican Cove station. Add some type of interference. I think this is network interference. And Mary Lake down here with this activity, it's hard to say if there's maybe some geyser activity locally to this station, but if you think about it, if there's some type of geology event going on here, whether it's a strong geyser event, earthquake activity, magma movement, that would show up very locally. Norris Junction not showing any of that. So this is some type of outside interference. I don't know what it is. It could be maybe wind events. It almost looks like it comes into the time frame of the east entrance activity here, but I'm not seeing it show up locally here across the seismograph stations. If you really think about it, earthquake activity, say if there is some major movement going on underneath Yellowstone, all of these stations are going to pick it up. We can't just pick and choose. Oh goodness, Yellowstone's going to blow, off of one station here, Mary Lake. That could be outside interference. So it's not Yellowstone. The earthquake activity doesn't work that way. Magma movement doesn't work that way. When you see magma movement, it's going to show up, I guarantee you, all across these local stations here. So we're not seeing it. Let's put an end to that. Puerto Rico has been another area of seismic increase, and this is continuing. Well, at least outside the Puerto Rico area, outside the British and the U.S. Virgin Islands area. Latest earthquake, a 3.7 earthquake. 14 kilometers deep. This has been kind of a swarm of activity here. This area is squeezed. You got the Mariotos Trough, the Puerto Rico Trench, a bunch of one subduction zone out here across the Dominica region and down to St. George. This area is always under a bunch of strain. That's why we always see quite a bit of earthquake activity here around the Puerto Rico region. It can't help it. It's being squeezed and bullied, so to speak, with the general plate movement out here with the Mariotos Trough and the Puerto Rico Trench up here along the Caribbean plate. That happens a lot. I feel sorry for it, but that's just part of plate tectonics. Chile area, most of these earthquakes here, roughly around the Peru-Chile Trench offshore. Pretty shallow, right in the strain zone, so to speak. Continue to watch that area. It's a major region for some earthquake activity. Let's see what we got here across the area of eastern Afghanistan and China. Of course, eastern Afghanistan, deeper movement, shallow earthquake activity up here across the desert. I always wanted to visit some deserts out there, like the Sahara, maybe even this desert. That's a huge desert. Satellite view here. There's not a whole lot out there, right? Look at that. Goodness, it almost looks like it was once a lake, right? Get it? But right now, if you were to walk through that in some high heat, that would probably not be good. What have we got out here? What is that? Rice fields. Oh, goodness. It almost looks like there's some... is that right? Look at this. What are my eyes seeing out here? What is this out here in China? You guys have any clue what this is? Let me know in the comments. It almost looks like rice fields because we have plenty of them out here in Northern California. But wow, okay. All right, that's a little That's a little suspicious out there in the middle of the desert. Either way, some earthquake activity occurring out there. Didn't mean to get too off subject. Out in the Mediterranean, most of our earthquake activity has been generally light. As you can see, there was again. Let's see what this earthquake is here. I'm tired of messing with these little earthquakes that pop up here. Supposedly there was a 5.3 out here. This is the EMSC model for you. That's why I'm not very... let's see what we got here. See that 3.9? Looks like maybe one of these smaller quakes up here across the area triggered what looks like a 5.3 in the globe. But, I'm not seeing that up here. Maybe it was this 1.7 that triggered the 5.3 in the globe. Kind of weird. EMSC has been doing that, so ignore some of these quakes out here. I kind of want to take them off of the globe, but then again, we lose our information here for the Mediterranean and the Middle East areas, and we got a swarm of activity here across the Iran area. But occasionally, specifically within this area around Spain, in this area in general, they, for whatever reason, put out fake large earthquakes. There's no 5.3 anywhere involved on their latest information here. And this was put out earlier my time, about 1:55 or so. So it's been up on the globe floating around, and it has not been removed. There's been no 5.3 at all in that area. And this earthquake here, that's 3.9. But that's nowhere near where the globe is pointing. Anyway, it bugs me. So, stuff like that I don't like. Makes me want to take the EMSC model off the globe. But that's kind of why I point this out. Just let you guys know that's not a legit earthquake. At least not that magnitude in that area. So take that with a grain of salt. Over here across the... I don't know. EMSC, USGS, take your pick. Or pick your poison, so to speak. Which one's correct? It looks like maybe there was a 5.1 over here across areas of Iran, according to this EMSC data. Whether it's legit or not, that's another story. Let's go over here and check it out here across the Iran area. I honestly don't see that 5.1. I see a 4.3. So what's going on there with the EMSC model on the globe? It's not cool. Not cool at all. So some larger earthquakes showing up that are actually some smaller quakes in the magnitudes. Oh, goodness. Maybe we can only trust the USGS. Could that be it? Because these other agencies are just off the chart. Don't even know where to begin. I got my mind confused with all of that right there. All right, so Atlantic Ocean, supposedly quiet out there. Let's go ahead and check out the USGS here. I just, maybe that's why the USGS takes so long to report some of these earthquakes. They want to verify the validness of it. Is it a real earthquake? Is that the right magnitude? I get it. Now I'm starting to get it. EMSC, I don't know what's going on with them. 5.1 north of the Ascension Island area. This is out here along the fracture zone. It looks like it's off of the chain fracture zone, maybe southward here. Either way, this is a... get it? It's a divergent boundary of fracture zones all over the place. This is the separation of the seafloor, indicating some new land being made. Separation of the continents. The whole story of plate tectonics. Why these plates are separating, right? South America obviously fits within the Africa area. This has been long time studied that this used to fit in here, but due to the separation of the seafloor, these are now shifting off away from each other, and that will continue until who knows what. And maybe a new major continent takes place, but yeah, okay. We're going way off. We're going way off, way out left field right now. Let's see. Anything else going on here, folks? Did we check out Mount St. Helens? How do we know Mount St. Helens is quite up here? Well, we're going to check that just real quick and see what's going on here. By the good old folks here at the USGS Volcano Hazard Program, right? These are the folks that we put our money into, and these are the folks that we trust to provide us with the most recent information when it comes to natural hazards. So let's just double check that. Kind of want to go in here and see what we got here across this area of Mount St. Helens. And remember these 3 earthquakes earlier today? Well, they haven't popped up yet. I doubt if they will. But if you notice here, there's definitely been some earthquake activity triggered up here. And that continues. So, you know, it's... How many... Could you imagine if you counted every single one of these spikes here? Maybe we're looking at maybe, 60 or 70 earthquakes up there. 60 or 70 earthquakes there at Mount St. Helens in the last 24 hours. There you go. That's what you get. Nothing being reported here by the USGS at all. And that's just a fact. So that's kind of why I like to go into, a little bit more detail as to what's going on out here. There's definitely some earthquake activity triggering up across the Mount St. Helens area. We'll continue to watch that, of course, and report back on it. Ooh, goodness. Let's see. I better move on here. Let's check out space weather activity here. We are looking at a little bit of radio blackout here, but we're coming up in the data. Looks like, is that some seafloor? Well, that's not seafloor. Well, is it really? Maybe. Let me see here. We're just recovering from a little bit of radio blackout, but it looks like maybe some seafloor activity from the current Earth-facing sunspot region. This is the region I said keep an eye on, because that's the only active region here, 3421, that harbors a bunch of these little dots here. You notice that? Let's blow this up here. You guys see all that? Look here. A bunch of red, a bunch of green, a bunch of blue, yellow, and orange, all bunched up together. That's an indicator here of what looks like maybe a complex structure within this sunspot. So that's, could obviously harbor some stronger flares. Right now, it looks like there's just some C-flare activity popping up from it. But if it does produce a major M flare with the subsequent CME, well, bullseye. This is directly facing the Earth-Sun plane right now, and that will be geo-effective 100%. Also, it looks like we're gaining some new sunspot development outside of this area to the eastern limb of the sun. So we'll continue to watch that. These just kind of pop up out of the blue. So we got some eastern limb sunspot activity kicking up here. 3423, which we'll continue to watch. Overall threat, 99% chance for a C flare. M flare at 15. X flare around 1%. And these are just probabilities based off of a human observation here. But looking at the UV filter ray, I would say this sunspot area that's currently facing us definitely needs some watching. Storm Prediction Center, nothing going on as far as major activity goes. Here's a look at our numerical model prediction. This is a computer model of precipitation and, well, hurricane events out here. And we're still kind of watching this hurricane out on the eastern coast here of the states. About the second week here of September. That model, though, shows a lot different than what we've seen earlier this morning. We're talking about hundreds of miles further off into the Atlantic. So that doesn't look like, at least for now, a hit across the eastern portion of the country. Maybe up north, well north here. Nova Scotia area, it looks like maybe that could see some areas that are hit. But we'll continue to watch that for that hurricane. Again, off here on the eastern side of the screen. Looking at the, let's check out the symbol here real quick. Then we'll get into what we're talking about for as the 100,000 subscriber giveaway. High pressure, just kind of dancing all over the place. That's better. That's definitely better than it sitting in one spot, right? Because high pressure, for example, creates dry conditions, elevated heat, and it looks like it just wants to bounce all over the place here over the next couple weeks. So that's fine with me. Definitely fine. All right, so tomorrow we are going to be putting out our 100,000 subscriber giveaway, right? We hit 100,000 subscribers. Hold on a second here. I just got to bring something up here or block something here real quick, and then bear with me. I'll be right back here on the screen. You guys see what I'm seeing here in just a second. But we have hit 100,000 subscribers here. Kind of a big deal, right, for us. We definitely appreciate all the members, all the subscribers that have joined out here. And we are going to be giving away some prizes here to 10 people. 10 lucky winners. Here is our member list real quick. I need to recognize all these members here. I don't do it enough. And I definitely need to recognize these folks here. So real quick. With the latest member here, but rejoined here 2 days ago, Sue Ellen. Thank you very much, Sue, for being a member here on this channel. Also, Robert H. This is Robert's also one of our newest members here for 3 days. Thank you very much, Robert H., for being a member. Love and Blessings has been a member here for about 2 months. Rejoined here about 10 days ago. This is a rejoin date and the join date out here. Philip Mint, 3 months. Laura Court, 16 days. Thank you very much, Laura, for being a member here on this channel. Michelle Farmer, I have seen you up here quite a bit. 6 months now. Thank you very much for being a member here on this channel. Bob, thank you very much. 17 days for a new member there. Thank you for joining. John Jerome, 2 months. Danielle, superfan member, 2 months. Dan Hunter, about 1 month or so. Unimportant Entertainment, thank you very much for joining. 5 months. Debbie Ray, 19 days. This is a new member right here. Thank you very much, Debbie, for becoming a member of this channel. Wes Hayer, hopefully I pronounced that correctly. Sorry if I didn't. 1 month. Jeannie Baker, 4 months. Angela Willock, 1 month. Kathleen, thank you very much for becoming a member. 5 months now total. Jen Teal, 1 month. Bitter Harvest, 1 month as well. George Harden, 1 month. Harlita Javika, 4 months. And a big time supporter there of donations. Harlita likes to give out plenty of member donations there. So we appreciate it, and the new members appreciate it as well. Thank you very much there, Harlita Javika. MST Pair, 1 month. Kathy Doan, 8 months it looks like there. Rejoined about a month ago. Genevry Freeland, 1 month. Ruth Kahn, 4 months. Time of Truth, 1 month right there. Maria Park, a long-time member. Very long-time member. 14 months total time. Rejoined 2 months ago. Thank you very much, Maria Park, for rejoining here on the member channel. Timothy, super fan there, 9 months. Sacktown Amy, just south of me here, south of Chico, 2 months now. Amanda Little, 3 months. Rebecca Biggs, 3 months as well. The Dot Hacker, 3 months. Elizabeth Warman, 5 months there. Rob 52, 15 months. Goodness, we're getting into our longtime members here. Rob 52, definitely a longtime member. Albert Sanchez Jr., I believe, has been one of our longest members out here, 15 months as well. Thank you very much, Albert Sanchez Jr., for being a part of this channel, and just your presence right here helps us out, and we definitely appreciate you here on this channel. Jay Fuentes 347 as well. We appreciate you very much. Nana, 4 months. Lilu, 4 months. Linda Eaton, 6 months. Alan Gressick, 5 months. Thank you very much there for being a member. Matthew Dittman, looks like 6 months as well. Lucy Maker, 6 months. Purple Bullet, obviously a longtime member and a longtime chat member out here. We appreciate you out there on the opposite side of the world of us here in California. We appreciate you, Purple Bullet. Craig England, 7 months. I still have yet to pronounce this name, but this brings you more attention. A longtime member here, 7 months. I'm not for sure how to pronounce that, so I'm going to skip that, but we appreciate you. One of these days, you're going to have to email me, let me know your correct pronunciation there on that. Helen Horn, 8 months. Alicia Stanford, big-time member right there, 13 months. Clayton, a long-time member as well, 11 months. Goodness. Hurricane Heather as well, 11 months. One of our member winners. Actually, quite a few of these folks have won some drawings here, and we'll go over this here in just a minute. Janice, I'm sorry, I skipped you. Janice here, super fan, 10 months. Juno James as well, 10 months. Mike Moses, 11 months here. Joycelyn Burzik, 11 months. Catherine Porras Peace. I already know this because I've seen you up here a lot. We appreciate you as a super fan there, Catherine. 11 months there. Judy Menzel, 12 months. Betty Kelly, Nancy Kowalski, one of our winners as well. A couple of these folks have definitely won the member drawing. John Didier, 15 months. Debash Mode, one of our winners as well, 13 months. Joelle Kozowski, I think you won as well. It's hard to keep track of who won and who hasn't won yet. 13 months here for Joelle. Pamela Conley, 14 months. Ray Addington, 14 months. Hope and Feathers, 15 months, and Robert Kozowski, 15 months. But if you look at, the total time here, as far as members go, right now, it looks like Jay Fuentes, 347, is up on the list. As far as what YouTube is pointing out here, as far as our longest time members. So we appreciate every single one of you guys out there, and we appreciate you guys making us hit the 100,000 subscriber mark. Now, let me go over this here real quick. Look at the little earthquake there at Mount St. Helens. See that little spike there at Mount St. Helens? I'm telling you, we still have a lot of earthquake activity happening, and none of it being reported. Look, nada, zip, zero. So I'm hoping somebody will chime in on this as far as a professional geologist goes, right? We'll get a hold of somebody. So tomorrow, which is Tuesday, right? We also have the member drawing coming up here on the 15th of September. That is a separate drawing from our 100,000 subscriber giveaway, which we will be putting out a video tomorrow, again Tuesday, and I will explain exactly what needs to be done, who is eligible. And now this is just not members only. This is members and subscribers. You have to be a subscriber here on this video or on this channel to be entered into the 100,000 subscriber giveaway. So right now I can tell you that the prizes there are going to be equal across the board. I thought about a tier level, but Missy Mimi said that if we're going to pick 10 people, we need to give away prizes to 10 people, regardless if they're first, second, third, or fourth, or 10th. So the prizes will be equal across the board. And we'll go into that more tomorrow, far as what the prizes are, what to do, how to enter, and the video will be put out again tomorrow, Tuesday. And I'm not for sure what time, but definitely look forward to that sometime tomorrow afternoon probably. And again, it will be open to all subscribers, all members. Doesn't matter if you're a moderator or whatnot. But yeah, I mean, I can't wait. It almost seems surreal to be able to hit 100,000 subscribers. I know a couple folks here on YouTube that have done it, and obviously they've gone beyond that. They've gotten gold and diamond far as the subscriber level goes. But goodness, you know, it's a little surreal. So I'm pretty excited. I want to give away some prizes. I want to show my appreciation. I don't want you guys to say, what else do we have to do to pay you? Or what else do we have to do to support you? I want to give back, so to speak. I want to give to my subscribers. You don't have to do anything except for entry. And right now, that's going to be one thing you guys will have to do. On the subscriber video tomorrow, one of the definite things you'll have to comment in the video, not this video, but the subscriber video tomorrow. I want to enter into the 100,000 subscriber giveaway. That's going to be it. That's how I know who to enter into the big fishbowl. I'm hoping that we'll fill this thing up tomorrow, or at least in the coming weeks. I'm going to make it a 2-week process, far as the amount of time that you have enabled to enter into this drawing. You don't have to do anything other than comment. And that's it. And be a subscriber here on this channel. So, well, again, we'll go over that more tomorrow in detail. All right? And, of course, the... goodness. Man, I've been outside in the smoke all night. Not the environment smoke, but my barbecue smoke. I've been barbecuing some tri-tip and chicken and oysters here underneath some apple wood chips. And I've been kind of breathing that in. It's been affecting my lungs a little bit. But, yeah, so the 100,000 subscriber giveaway entry video would be placed out tomorrow, Tuesday, September 5th, 2023. And don't forget the member drawing, right? The member drawing is separate. We're still giving away some prizes there for the members only, coming up on the 15th of September. That's the second drawing. Separate drawing from the 100,000 subscriber giveaway. So, all right, folks, a lot going on this week. I want to make sure it happens, and you know, I appreciate it. I really can't say enough thanks, and I can't think of a better way of showing my thanks than giving away some prizes. I could sit here and say thank you all day, right? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh my gosh, thank you. But what good is it to you guys, right? Words are one thing, but prizes are another, and that's why I'm giving out the prizes to you folks out there for making it happen. And again, the details will be tomorrow in the video. Look for that. Have a good night. Stay safe out there. And again, keep an eye, Mount St. Helens area. Crazy to say that, but there's definitely some earthquake activity out there. And, of course, the Big Island of Hawaii, which is lighting up like crazy. We'll continue to watch that for eruptive status. We'll catch you guys back here tomorrow morning with the update. Have a good one.